Good morning, students. In this class, we are going to see how to rig a pendulum using FK techniques. Okay, FK rigging techniques. Previously, we have seen IK rigging techniques. We have used IK handles and rigged few models. Now we are going to use FK in the sense forward kinematics. You can visually understand the difference between IK and FK after this exercise. Previously, it was a theoretical understanding, and I hope you had a good understanding of IK. Now, we are going to rig a pendulum. We will make a simple, understandable, easy model. Okay, it is a fast model. We will do a fast model, quick model. We will give proper naming. Then we will group the similar objects in the model. Then we will create bones for those models. Then we will create controller curves. Then we will give constraints. Then we will see how far it is working fine. Okay, so to the first step, see, I'm in my modeling tab. I'm just going to create a simple pendulum model. Okay, so I'm just going to take a cylinder. This is a fast modeling or a quick modeling. Okay, I'm just going to take a cylinder like this. I'm going to take a sphere like this. I'm going to align it. Okay, so it is very simple. So again, I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to put it in the top. Come to the front view or side view or any graphic view. Okay, so again, I'm going to duplicate this both. I'm going to duplicate this both. I'm going to put it here. Yeah, I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to put it here. Yes. Okay. Now I need one more duplicate sphere. Control D to duplicate. I hope all of you know that. Okay, so that's all. And one more thing. This is the tail. We need head part. So I'm going to create a head part. Come to front view. I'm just going to make it easy and faster and quicker. Okay, so just make it as a easy model, a simple and easy model. Okay, so that's it. It is a very simple model. Using this model, we are going to rig FK rigging techniques. We are going to apply FK rigging techniques. Okay, so prior to that, I need to select all these things because these things have inputs of because these things are duplicates of the one another which is present in the same scene. So I need to select all these things, and I'm going to edit, delete by type history. I need to delete the history. Now we need to give proper naming, and so this is the head of the pendulum. This is the top part. This is the middle part, and this is the end part, and this is the tail. Okay, so we will give very easy naming. Okay, so I'm just going to give head 1, and for this thing head 2, and this is top 1, and for this one I'm going to give the name top 2. Same thing here, middle part of the pendulum, mid 1, gain, mid 2, gain. This is the end. Okay, end 1. So the tail part is end 2. Okay, so head 1, head 2, top 1, top 2, right? Okay, now we need to create bone structure. Okay, so I'm just going to come to the front view, right? And I'm going to wireframe mode. In this wireframe mode I'm going to start creating the bones. So for that I'm going to take rigging tab. Now after taking the rigging tab, here you can see the joints, create joints. Just selecting the joints. See here what is the logic is, this tail should act from this place. Okay, in the sense this ball or this joint is the pivot point from where this part is giving the energy or the command. So we need separate joint for this head part and this joint, sorry, this spear. Okay, so I'm going to give, start from here, like one joint for the head. Oh my god, my joint size is so bigger, so I'm just going to reduce it. The short bone radius, it is 0.5. I can make it 0.3. It will be fine. Or let me check. Yeah, still I can make it like 0.25. It will be fine for me to identify which is a bone and which is a mesh. Okay, so let me start with here. Okay, and click here. See where are all we are going to give connectivity and constraints there, and all I'm creating joints. Okay, right, click here, give enter. So the next step is giving proper naming for the joints. So for this joint I'm going to give the name head joint. Okay, so this joint I'm going to give top joint. So for here, this joint I'm going to give the name mid joint, and for this joint I'm going to give the name end joint. And see, this joint do not have any continuation or tail. Okay, so I'm just going to give the tip, the name is tip joint. Okay, so even I can adjust it, press D and I can push it straight. Okay, fine, it is fine. Okay, so we have created a very simple model and we have created joint structure for this. Okay, now we are going to give proper grouping and create animation controllers, then check the influence and all these things. Okay, now we will do proper naming and grouping. Okay, so just going to close this toolbox and all these things. Just going to take the selection tool. See, the head part and the tail part is in the same color, it's in the same background color. So just to gives some visual identification. So I'm just going to going to the rendering tab, and just going to click on some material, and I'm going to apply some color. That's all. I'm going to rendering tab, clicking on some material like Lambert. Here the Lambert, here I'm going to change some color. Okay, that's all. It is simple as like that. Some visual difference we need to see. Still it is not okay. Fine. Okay. Similarly for all these spheres, I will give a different color. Same thing, I'm just going to apply some other material or the same material Lambert. I'm just going to give some different color. Okay, for this stem part, yeah, for the stem part again I'm going to shift select. Again I'm going to apply some material, and I'm going to give some other color. Okay, this may look awkward, but anyways it is a visual representation. Like, we need to differentiate our background and the elements in the scene, okay, so that it will be easy for us to identify, to select which one to animate. Okay, so that's it. Now first we need to create parent child connectivity in order to get influence for each and every different polygon mesh from the joints which we created, from the joints and bone which we created. So for that, first I'm going to group this head. Okay, head 1 and head 2. Okay, select head 1 and head 2, shift select head 1 and head 2, press Ctrl G, Ctrl plus G. Okay, you can see items grouped successfully. Okay, here in this part you can see head 1 and head 2 are grouped into one group. Now we can give the name head group. Okay, now when you select this head group and press W, you can see the pivot is somewhere else in the ground. See, that doesn't matter actually in our process, because we are going to do a different process. Like, we are not going to select this mesh part and we are not going to animate it. We are going to take the influence or the control through the animation controller, but still it is a discipline to keep the pivots and all these things in proper place, so that when we are in need of giving some other input or modification, it will be easy for us to locate the objects. Okay, so I'm just going to select the head group, the pivot is here, go to modify, and here give the option center pivot. Okay, so now I'm going to move it, but not selecting by the individual objects, selecting the group. Okay, now the other thing, this is the head group and this is the top part of the body. So I'm just going to select the top 1 and 2. I'm going to press Ctrl G, grouping, and this is top group. Oh, sorry for spelling mistake. Top group. Again, select the top group, go to modify, and give it center pivot. Okay, now you can see the pivot is in middle of this place. Okay, now the other thing is we need to select this mid part. Okay,